And good morning, and welcome to VSA Capital 5-Minute Morning Miner on Tuesday, the 14th of October. And here we are, second day of LME week. Don't know if we're doing much for LME week, are we, Ollie?
No, but it's not really one for the smaller companies. Everyone seems to think it is, but it's really a week for traders of physical commodities, not so much companies and developers.
There is quite a lot of what I describe as generalist news, though, flying around because of LME week. And there's quite a lot of important people who have come into London and talking various different stories. But also, I think, was Canada shut last night?
It was Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Canadian Thanksgiving. Well, thank you to Canada. Anyway, so a bit quiet on that front. Not a huge amount of news this morning. Maybe start with Rio had some update on their production numbers.
We'll be brief because actually, Rio is up 7% year to date, and with commodity prices moving like they are, actually the majors are the last place you want to be, and all the action is in the juniors now. We're in this part of the cycle, so it's useful for having a look at what they're doing and what it means for the underlying commodity markets and prices. But it is now time to look at smaller companies. But there are no Q3 was up 6% Q on Q, but they have highlighted that Q4 does need to be strong, and it does to meet, well, not only their consensus, their guidance, but market consensus. On the copper side, they were up 10% year on year, but off 11% Q on Q. But they have indicated that they're going to be at the higher end of their production range. So that's offsetting some tightness elsewhere in the market.
Yeah, the market wasn't that impressed. It's off 73p, which is about 1.4% or so. So slight disappointment there, it has to be said. Rio, of course, is still, by many people in London, seems still what I describe as the bellwether mining stock. I don't know if that still has that label, but maybe that's just me being old. I am getting a bit old. There you go. Now, the other one, it's always a question about whether it's a mining stock or an oil and gas stock, but Pulsar Helium had some news today, and they have been marked up about 10% this morning, and they've actually had an enormous run. They basically doubled in price in the last couple of weeks, to be honest with you. Not just off the back of our recent video blog, but anybody who listened to that and actually bought the stock after it would be very thankful. But what's the news you got there then, Ollie?
Well, there's obviously been a lot of momentum with the results from Jetstream over the summer and the progress at Topaz. But today, drill rigs have been mobilised. They're going to drill 10 more wells at Jetstream, with the first starting this week. They'll be targeting helium zone between 450 metres and 1,200 metres deep. There is a foot conversion if you're in North America in the RNS.
Very handy. Anyway, going well, obviously. Right, anything else you wanted to comment on today, Ollie?
Well, just to highlight the point on the juniors, Serabi has had Q3 announcements today on production. 12,000 ounces of production. That's a quarterly record. It's up 27% year on year and 15% Q on Q. That's mostly from higher grades, and they've been increasing throughput steadily. Cash has increased from $30 million to $39 million, and they're on track for their 44 to 47,000 ounce guidance. Ore sorting has actually been a big reason for the improvements in grade through the mill, but that stock is up 10 times over the last 24 months. And interestingly for you, Andrew, their different zones of mineralization are all named after Brazilian Grand Prix drivers.
Oh, fascinating. Yeah. It's a different one. That's pretty good. And actually, of course, we probably would have just finished if we've got nothing else. Is the gold continues to go up. 4,125 as we speak. So anybody who thought that it maybe would pause at 4,000 got that wrong. It's going to keep going up. And silver over $52. So yeah, I mean, they just keep going up, and I think they will keep going up.
Yeah, I think actually at the moment technical analysis is the most useful thing for gold and silver, because it's all about sentiment until there is something new that changes.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of technicalities in the gold price at the moment. So global hedging and cryptocurrencies doing all sorts of things. Right. Anything else, Ollie?
Not today.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, and we'll be back tomorrow.
This podcast has been produced and edited by VSA Capital. It is intended for information purposes and not as investment advice. The information is intended for recipients who understand the risks associated with equity investments in smaller companies. Please do your own research and do not rely on a single source when making an investment decision. VSA Capital may derive fees from this content and seeks to do business with the companies mentioned.